Welcome to the Investor Coaching Show, a podcast to help you get an insider's view of the financial world and escape common investment traps. And here's your host, Paul Winkler.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm leaning back in the chair and let it rip. Paul Winkler, Investor Coaching Show, Arlene Brown. Okay, so
this is a question.
Okay,
clients
from you?
Our
client. Okay,
clients
all right.
Calling me. Oh, I'm turning 62. I need to take Social Security because I don't want to miss the 8.7% COLA adjustment.
Okay, that's a really good question.
And I said, that's not the only. I mean,
it's not going to happen. You're going to get it anyway.
8.7. Because they get excited about the 8.7%.
Your average index monthly earnings will go up by that amount too. So you'll get not only the COLA increase, but you're also going to get the increase by delaying. So it's actually a double whammy good.
So what I'm saying
Don't worry about it.
Regardless,
yes,
okay, when you're taking your Social Security or whether you are already taking your Social Security, you're never going to miss out.
You're going to get it. That's a really fun question. I never would have thought that would be something that would go through somebody's mind. So that's a good one. Yeah. So basically, the COLA, the cost of living allowance, is what we're talking about here with Social Security. And you have an average index monthly earnings. Then you're going to have your primary insurance amount, which is really what you're talking about when we're looking at your insurance benefit or your Social Security benefit at your full retirement age, whether it be 66, 66 and a half, 67 is the oldest age right now that we have. That's the maximum. You can take your benefit at 70, but that's, if you're born after 1960, your full retirement age is 67.
So if you are going to wait till 68 to take out, so you have 8.7% plus 8%.
Plus the 8%. Yep.
Yeah.
You get them both. It's all good.
Right.
Good question. Okay, what's the next question? I like that one.
Now, buying or renting?
Buying or renting?
So my first question
Buying
is...
or renting what?
House.
Oh.
What's all about?
I could buy or rent a car.
What? No. Okay.
I'm kidding. I knew what you were talking about.
So my question is, and it's always like...
Buying or renting?
Are you going to live in the house? I said, yeah.
Yes.
How many years do you think you're going to live in the house?
Yes, that's a really good question, because if you buy, you've got real estate commissions on the front, you got real estate commissions on the back.
Historically, at least if you are going to live at least 5 years in that house, then
you could make a case for it, maybe. It depends. I mean, you've just been through a huge.
Speaking,
you've just
if less than 5 years,
Arlene,
you may want to rent. Okay, consider renting vigorously. Okay?
You're a vigorous renter. If you look back, at history. And I did this with one of my guys one time. We actually did this whole study on buying versus renting. And he was single. And I said, look, whoever you marry, they're not going to like the house you got. It's just bottom line. It ain't going to happen. She's going to hate it. You're a single guy. You don't know how to pick houses. But then you got that. Then you also have, what's the likelihood of possibly having to move because of a job switch? That's another thing. You look at the lost opportunity cost when it comes down to... Well, you've got interest on a mortgage, so you got to take your interest payments on the mortgage. You got to take the differential between homeowners insurance versus renter insurance. You got to take the cost of the commissions to buy and sell the house. You got to take the difference in upkeep versus not having the upkeep.
Upkeep could really be a money pit.
It could be a real money pit, no question about it. So, not necessarily, I tell people, don't necessarily get in a hurry to own a house. In his particular case, we came to the conclusion the only reason to buy may be pride of ownership. It's not a guarantee that the market's going to go up. And I had somebody this week, and it was a significant decrease over the last year on what he could get for the property versus what he could have gotten for it a year ago. And it was huge. And, for him, it was devastatingly huge in his particular case. So it's not a gimme that real estate will go up. I always tell people we don't hold real estate as part of our investment portfolios personally, and it's because you already have a lot of exposure to real estate with stocks.
Well, what prompted the question
Mm-hmm.
is because he is expecting that the market values here in Tennessee is gonna go down because there was a
Interesting.
big
Well, that would be
big
certainly a
headline,
reason if he's
20%,
right.
20%, 20%
Decline?
Decline.
Wow, I hadn't heard that.
There was a big headline in that
Really?
maybe in the last 2 weeks. Okay.
I don't know. I think it's a guess, conjecture, whether that's going to happen or not. So don't take that as
But then-
gospel. That isn't us. That's somebody else saying that.
But then his dilemma is the mortgage rate is 7%.
Right?
So I said,
Well,
well,
if-
again, the question is, are you going to live in the house?
Yeah.
Are you going to?
Well, are you going to
stay
live in
more
the
than
house? But
5
are you going to
years?
live in a house when you could buy the same house for 20% less in a year? I mean, you don't
but then-
know that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say that. But then.
And that'd be a really good reason to wait. Yeah. And buy later.
But then, interest rate is going up.
No, you don't know that.
Well, mortgage rate is 7% right now.
Yeah, mortgage rates. But the reality of it is, if inflation starts to come back down and interest rates come back down, and you look at the demographics in this country, and I go,
And then
we're,
it went
we're
down
aging.
to 6 point. It went down to 6.
Oh, the mortgage did?
Right. To 6 something. So again.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that
So-
went down. Okay, yeah.
So
I can see
again,
that.
it's doing the math with their, because you cannot just go ahead and say, oh, because you're expecting that the house prices is going to go down
Yeah.
against,
As Yoda would
at
say,
the expense of having a lower mortgage rate.
as Yoda would say, hard to predict the future is. Yeah.
So there you go.
It is just like, yeah, good luck with that one.
We don't speculate.
No. No, never
So-
been that way. Okay, that was a good one. What's
No, okay.
that's kind of fun.
I have a client. I had a client.
all
Well,
right.
he is a client now.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
He came in with fixed index annuity.
Ooh,
All right.
ouch.
2001.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
For 21 years.
21 years.
You know how much from $15,000?
That's long
Okay.
suffering. Yes.
$44,000.
40 no, how much? Wait a second.
So-
44,000 on what amount?
2001.
How much money was put in?
15.
Oh, 15.
2022. It's 44,000.
So is 15,000 tripled in value?
Yeah, for 21 years. That's like 3%.
I don't even know. I don't have my calculator.
It's like
I'm
3%.
lost without my calculator. Really? That's what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that something?
Now,
Okay, so pathetic rate of return.
uh-huh.
All right.
So now if he
And that's
has,
when, you had some indexed annuities that were okay back then. Some of
yes,
them
that's right.
they
Okay,
were actually not
but-
terrible back then, and it's still a terrible rate of return. Because they were promising too much before. With some
well,
of these products.
If he got out 10 years after he
Mm-hmm.
in 2021 in 2010 or 2011, he would have done better.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
But
because basically
after
you had a dead
21
decade.
years,
You had a
okay,
dead
the
decade
longer,
yeah.
okay, the longer he was in the annuity,
Okay.
losing.
Well,
But-
and I've had those things, but back then, why was it so good back then? I remember when huge insurance company, I was just about to say their name, and I thought, I just won't say their name. But they were actually had their products were guaranteeing so much rate of return or such good guarantees back in those days in 2008, 2009, as I recall, that they actually asked their representatives to stop selling so much of the product.
Well,
Which I thought was so odd. But,
Uh-huh.
so you're talking about a product back in 2001 or
But
so.
it was
somewhere.
plain vanilla. What you were talking
So
about.
this wasn't quite as good. All right.
What you were talking about are those products who had higher guarantees, but
Right.
that's the funny money side.
The VA side. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
the income benefits. Okay.
So So
Funny money side. The phantom riders, as I was talking about, or phantom accounts, as I was talking about a couple weeks ago.
so
All right.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Just lay another one on me. This is fun.
No, there is a new product. Okay,
There is a new product.
it's the RILA.
RILA. RILA.
It's linked. It's market linked annuities.
Okay. So basically, the other annuities didn't work, so they've come out with something else that's based on a new design.
What it is
that would have looked really good over the past 10 years had had it been available, but I'm just guessing. That's the insurance
fixed
industry.
Index annuity is the hybrid between fixed and variable annuity.
Okay.
Okay. Now
Is that what this is?
no.
So what are the bells and whistles on this one?
RILA is a hybrid between fixed indexed annuity
Yes.
and variable annuity.
So how does it
Because here's the thing.
hybrid? Okay, so nobody knows what you just said. So basically what she's talking about there, fixed indexed annuity says you can get the returns of the stock market without the downside, but they always limit the upside.
Yes, you
know,
have
so you're limited. So maybe, they'll
3%.
Yeah, it might be 3% or something like
Okay.
that. But if the market goes down, you won't lose anything. So
That's a fixed index annuity.
yeah, when they limit the upside, or downside, you're not going to get any upsides. Is the issue? So people go, this stinks. You never look at how lousy the returns have been of this product. You've been trying to sell us this garbage for 20, 25 years, and it hasn't worked. This doesn't work. Oh well, we got a new idea. This new idea will give you the benefits of a variable annuity, which is a type of annuity, by the way, folks, that I am okay with in some circumstances.
So something I need to watch out for.
Well, yeah, watch out for everything. I mean, watch your pocketbook when it comes to insurance companies. There are, though, no-load insurance companies. And no-load insurance companies, we deal with them on occasion here. And where they actually have lower costs of insurance, and then you do get the sheltering on the mutual funds from taxation. The negative of it is that you are no longer getting capital gains tax rates, which for most people aren't any high. Well, for some people it's 0. For some people it's 15, and the very highest rate is 20. Now, with regular mutual funds and regular stock market investments, those long-term capital gains rates are what your tax rate ends up being on gains. So when you sell it, if you paid $100 for it and now it's worth $300, that $200 gain is taxed at maybe some of it maybe 0, some of it 15, maybe 20. Whereas if you're talking about an annuity product, you could be as high as 37%. So there can be negatives, and the order of distribution can be problematic. But there are cases, as weird as it sounds, that actually makes sense. So what they're doing is they're saying, hey, let's take this thing that's really stunk up the place over the last 30 years and put out a new product that hasn't been stinky in all cases.
But the selling point is
okay.
The selling point.
I'm trying to build it up here.
This is called what registered and index linked annuity.
Okay, so you got to be licensed to sell this. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. It's still a variable annuity.
Okay.
Except that it has a protection level.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a protection level.
On the downside.
Of course. Well, there have been other variable annuities with protection on the downside.
Okay.
What's the difference?
What they're saying is that, and there is also another component, which is a participation rate.
Which is you get to participate in so much of the market upside. Okay, yeah.
And downside.
And downside.
Uh-huh.
You get to participate in the downside too.
The participation rate is upside and downside.
All right.
Okay. The protection level is downside.
All right.
Okay, so if the
so it's
market,
like options.
That's right. Okay,
so it's basically like options. So basically, your rate of return will be no better than fixed income bonds going forward.
But it's just more confusing. But it's another product.
Well, you're confusing even me. I'm getting a headache. Leviticus, you got a headache
This is
yet?
not the content that I produce.
Stuart, do you have a headache? He does too. Everybody's got a headache. Arlene, you're giving. Move on to the next question. It's just another stupid insurance company product that doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
that's what I am saying.
I know.
That. Hey,
Be aware,
This is
You
right?
know I got to
something
pick on
better.
you. This would not be you and I on the radio without me.
Well, because you have clients that come in and say, I have actually a client who said,
No, my clients
Okay.
don't ask about that stuff.